that capture a billion.
Hello and welcome to the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Darshan Mehta. First, let's take a look at the headlines. Indian markets trade with marginal moves. Nifty hovers around the 10,800 mark in early trade. The VIX remains flat. Open interest surges in Oriental Bank as traders take fresh long positions in the stock futures. Bharti Airtel and Vodafone inch up in trade after the Telecom Appellate Tribunal sets aside thrice predatory pricing guidelines. They placed restriction on older operators but excluded Reliance Jio. The Reserve Bank of India board meet will happen today under the new Governor Shaktikanta Das. The 18-member board is expected to discuss a proposal for closer supervision of the central bank. And the Supreme Court verdict is expected today on pleas seeking a court-monitored investigation into India's Rafale fighter deal with France. So that's the cues that are coming in. Let's take a look at what's happening as far as the Nifty is concerned. The Nifty has managed to claw back into the green after a weak start. So that's the traction that we're seeing at this point of time. The Nifty is seeing traction on the higher side. The Nifty is seeing open interest build up of 1% on the long side. The Bank Nifty is also now managed to move into the green. It's seeing open interest build up of 8%, that too on the long side. Now take a look at where positions are being taken, and you can clearly see that from the 10,500 is where support is coming in, and 11,000 is where there is resistance in the market. In terms of positions, put writers are much more active today at 10,700 and 10,800, and call writers at 10,800 to higher levels. So you're not getting any sense of great cues coming in, but one thing is for sure that put writers have become extremely aggressive, and they are writing in, indicating that at lower levels the market will be met by solid support. So that's the trend that we're seeing at this point of time. Let's take a look at which are the stocks which are moving on high open interest build up or falling. The first one is SRF, which is seeing high open interest build up of 23% on the long side. Again, you have a Motherson Sumi open interest build up of 10% on the long side. Cement, some of the PSU banks are doing well in trade. So we'll discuss all these stocks in detail in a while. In terms of stocks which are seeing open interest decline, first of all, I can see is the stocks that will be in focus. Berger Paints is seeing short covering that's coming in. Asian Paints also is seeing short covering. So Paints as a pack is doing well in trade. L&T is seeing a little bit of long unwinding that's coming. So that's the trend that we are seeing at this point of time. Let's get in our guest at this point of time. Amit Shah of Bob Caps and Ruchit Jain of Angel Broking joins us. Amit will be slightly delayed, but Ruchit, will start with you. Good morning. What's the sense that you're getting in on the Nifty? Absolutely flat in trade. If someone has to take a position, what should that be?
Yeah, hi, very good morning. Yes, if we see, this last 3 to 4 trading sessions, the move from the lower levels of 10,350 post that gap down opening that we had seen on Tuesday. So, in this entire up move on both the Nifty as well as Bank Nifty front, we had seen that, there has been a short covering as well as fresh long built up. And if you see some of the index heavyweights, that there has been a good long build up in many of the index heavyweights as well. So this is an indication that this momentum is likely to continue. Even on the options front, the good open interest addition has now been seen in 10,800 put option yesterday also, and even in today's trading session. So 10,700, 10,800 good put writing is going on over there. So this indicates that the downside in this series now would be very limited, and on the higher side we should see the index rallying towards 10,950, 10,970 kind of levels. So at current levels, if anyone has to take a trade, then one can trade it through options. One can go long on 10,900 call option around 70 rupees with stop loss below 44 rupees, expecting target around 115 before expiry.
Okay, anything on the Nifty Bank that seems interesting, Ruchit?
Yeah, so many of the index heavyweights names from the banking front has also shown up positive momentum in this up move. And specifically, if I look at the index, then initial 2 trading sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday, the up move was supported by rise in open interest, which indicated a fresh long formation. And yesterday, the open interest decline, in spite of Bank Nifty moving higher, there was a decline in open interest by 7%, which indicates that now the earlier shorts which were there in the system in banking index those are also coming for short covering. So I think this should lead the Bank Nifty towards 27,100, 27,200 kind of range. So even on Bank Nifty, one can go long on the futures on minor dips around 26,800, keeping stop below 26,550 for target around 27,200.
Okay, that's the trend that we're seeing in. Amit, good morning. What's your view on the Nifty currently? And I believe you have a long strangle on the Nifty. So before you go that, let me just explain for a viewer what a long strangle means. A long strangle is when one buys an out of the money call and out of the money put in anticipation of an increase in volatility. The strategy becomes profitable when volatility increases, follows by expansion in the option premium. So Amit, good morning. That was your strategy, but you need to give the index levels where you believe a long strangle will come in and your overall view on the Nifty.
Yeah, so if you see post the election outcome, the way and the intensity of the rise in the market, what we have seen almost from 10,330 odd levels to almost now 10,800 odd. The intensity has been quite strong, and the way it has taken out the 200 and the 50-day moving average, which is seen close to 10,690 odd. This shows, and plus with an improving advance to decline ratio, so that this shows there is some stock specific action seen in the market on the positive side. And I believe the more it now holds above the 200-day moving average, which is now at 10,690 odd, the follow-up buying momentum can be continued, where on the upside 11,000, 11,050 levels can be seen. 11,000 will act as a stiff resistance for the market. There are overlapping indicators over there where the call writers are located, and also if we consider the entire fall from 11,760 to almost 10,000 odd mark, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement is seen close to 11,050 odd levels. So that would be a multiple resistances and overlapping indicators are seen at those levels. So market will spend some time consolidation around those bands, but till the time 700 and on the downside 600 two support levels are not violated, I believe this intensity in the market which we are seeing currently can see some further upside from here on. And as we see during this development post the election, the VIX have completely cooled off. It is now hovering around 15 odd band, which is at a comfort zone from almost last 3 months, which has been hovering above 16.5 level. So with VIX at a comfort level, I believe there is some kind of a volatility, or the intensity is going to remain on the market, where we can see some both side direction moves. So I recommend to go on a long strangle with VIX mainly in a comfort zone, where buying a 10,800 call option and selling and buying a 10,700 put option would be recommended. The total premium, the total cost is roughly around 180 odd. Traders can keep a stop loss of 140, and on the upside can look for targets towards 240 to 250 levels on the higher side.
Amit, what's the timeline for this strategy? How soon are you expecting this to play out in?
Yeah, so I would mainly focus on this timeline up to next week, because as I said, considering the intensity, I don't see a time consolidation would matter at this level. So it needs to be happen on a quicker side.
Yeah, that's the view that's coming in. Let's get in stock specific views also. Ruchit, you have 2 buy calls. What are the calls that you're recommending today?
So Britannia is one of the stocks that we have been recommending on the long side. Technically, there's a clear low, high top, high bottom structure, and on the recent decline from 3,100 to 33,000, we had seen that the 89 EMA has acted as a support, and the prices have resumed its uptrend. So one can go long on Britannia with stop below 3,030, expecting targets around 3,300 in next 1 or 2 weeks. And Vedanta is one stock where we are expecting a breakout. The stock probably has seen a consolidation phase since last 2 to 3 weeks, and looking at the put writing that has been happening in Vedanta in today's trading session, 200 put options have been adding open interest today. So this is indicating that the downside could be limited. Consolidation breakout should lead to a good up move in this series itself. So from an expiry perspective, one can go long on Vedanta 210 call option, which is right now trading around 3 rupees for target around 7.5.
Okay, so Britannia and Vedanta. Amit, which are the stocks that you want to recommend?
So I have 2 buy recommendation. One is a covered call on Biocon. Now I feel Biocon has seen a very good consolidation at the lower band close to 640 odd level, and has now given a trend line breakout above 650. The more it sustains above this level, I feel there can be a strong momentum on the upside where 680, 700 levels can be tested. Considering it is slightly high beta in nature, I would recommend to write a 680 call option and convert this plain vanilla future trade to a covered call strategy where the premium is hovering around 8 to 9 points. So that will give you a cushion on the downside. On the downside, overall, the stock has a very good support around 635. So that would act as a good stop loss level for the clients. And on the upside, one can expect 680, 690 levels within this expiry. My another recommendation is on Pidilite. The stock has seen a good, decent short covering, and the way it has shorted up over last couple of months, I believe the stock is having a lot of strength where it soon can cross the all-time high of close to 1270 odd level. So it is trading around 1170 odd. On the downside, it has a good supportive action around 1155. One can trade with a short-term target of 1220 on the higher side.
Okay, so those are the calls that are coming in. Just as an explainer, a covered call is a strategy employed when an investor holds a near-term neutral view with a positive bias on this security. Involves selling the call option of the asset in which the investors has bought securities. So what Amit is suggesting is
I lost the voice.
Anything and everything about your investments. We're just a touch away. Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Okay, welcome back to the show. We are back after a technical glitch which we have fixed. So let's get back to discussing all the stocks that we want to discuss. First stock we want to discuss is Motherson Sumi, one of the top gainers on the F&O. Decent open interest build up of almost 11%, that too on the long side. The move is because of a fundamental news that came in which Reuters said that Motherson Sumi is looking at a €1 billion acquisition in Europe. It's a German-based company, and post that company will be merged into it. The firm's name is Leoni, and Leoni reacted 17% positively on the German indices. So what's the view on Motherson Sumi? We'll ask our guest. Ruchit, I'll start with you. Motherson Sumi been a marked underperformer. Is this move of 8-9% providing any breakout sign, or what should one do at the current level on Motherson?
In the last week of September, the stock had breached its crucial support level, which was around 179. And post September, whenever there have been pullback moves, this 179, which was earlier support, that has acted as resistance. So for a breakout level, 179 would be the key level to watch out for in short term. Today's high also marks around that resistance of 179 itself. Yes, in today's post gap up opening, we had seen a good follow-up buying momentum. There has been a good open interest built up as well as good volumes on the cash front. So I think once this stock gives a breakout above 179, this momentum could extend towards its 200-day moving average, which is around 194. So if any long positions are already there in the system in Motherson Sumi, they should continue to hold on because this positive development on the open interest front, which we have seen today. And in case the stock gives a breakout above 179, then fresh buying could also be done for target of 194 in short term.
Okay, so you're saying that you would look at the trade only after 179, right?
Yes, only post a breakout above 179.
What about you, Amit? What's your view on Motherson?
So if you see overall, the stock has in fact given a good structural move where on the downside it has made a multiple supportive action around 147 odd and is now at the neckline level of 179, 180, which Ruchit is mentioning about. So looking at the volume and the open interest built in, I believe it will not stop at these levels. 179, 180 can be taken off, maybe a 1 or 2 days consolidation with this respecting the resistance. But overall, looking at the broader framework, I believe 198 to 205 levels can be seen in Motherson Sumi in 2 to 3 weeks time frame.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on the first stock. The next one I want to discuss is basically the cement sector. Now, couple of triggers coming in. Earlier, it was the capacity expansion at ACC and Ambuja, and yesterday was the ET report that came out indicating the fact that there could be a GST cut on December 22nd when the meet happens from cement. The GST rate currently is at 18%, and that could go in much lower. Most of the cement stocks have reacted positively. Ambuja, ACC, you have your India Cements, which has reacted positively. A lot of stocks not even in the F&O have reacted positively, but we'll ask our guest what they believe should happen on the cement side. Amit, anything that looks good on the cement pack to you?
So, if I have to place cement space, ACC, Ambuja are slightly, I always find discomfort considering their internal volatility and the swings what comes on a day-to-day trading. But Ultratech Cement is some space which shows stability, which shows consistent momentum, and it is on a good long-term structural formation. So I believe Ultratech Cement can be a good play for cement. However, it has some minor resistance around 4100, but looking at the overall move, the way it has turned from 3300 to almost 4100, I believe this strength can be taken off. On the downside, it holds a very key support at 3950. The more it sustains above this level, possibility of 4300 to 4250 levels can be seen.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on the second stock, cement stock. Ruchit, your view on the cement play, please.
See, if I look at last 2-3 months, then there has been a stock specific momentum within the cement space. We have not seen the entire sector moving in a particular direction. And if I compare the stocks within this space, then ACC certainly has been one of the outperformer, which has shown relative strength compared to other stocks. So on minor dips, the support for ACC is placed around 1475. So I think if I get this stock around 1475, that would be good levels where risk reward ratio would become favorable. So look to buy ACC on dips around 1475, keep a stop loss below 1410, and one can expect target around 1565 in next 15 to 20 days.
Okay, the next stock that we want to address is Jet Airways. Now, the reason that we've selected the counter, let's pull it up, it's managed to move into the green with an open interest build-up of 4%. But if you take this series itself, the open interest build-up is very high, close to 30%, and the series short, it does indicate that there is a lot of shorting that has happened on Jet Airways. So what should one do with Jet Airways? That's something we'll ask our guests. So it's down 10% in the 12% in the last 1 week itself. Ruchit, Jet Airways, should an opportunity, if it rises, be an opportunity to short, or is it time to go long?
No, I think rather I would suggest to completely avoid trading in Jet Airways itself, because of the volatility that we usually see in this stock. Keeping a small stop loss and going long or short doesn't make sense from a short-term trading perspective. I think comparatively Indigo has shown a relative strength in this within this sector. 1100 is the 200-day moving average, and we have already seen a consolidation in last 2-3 weeks in Indigo. So if we get a breakout about 1100, then there would be a good buying opportunity from a trading perspective in Indigo. So buy Indigo within this sector above 1100, keep a stop loss then below 1050 and expect target around 1220 to 1230. Jet Airways, only because of its volatility, I would recommend to avoid.
Okay, the next stock I'm sorry, I'll need to go to Amit. Amit, your view on Jet Airways?
Yeah, I completely agree to Ruchit. See, the broader structure is very much weak, and the way you mentioned on the open interest, definitely there is much of a short participation which is there in this space. And despite, even if there is a long participation also, but still looking at the broader structure, the stock has multiple resistances on the upside. So unless there is not a clear structure, and I don't think which is going to be happening very soon. So this is a complete avoid stock for me as well.
Okay, complete avoid Jet Airways. The Indigo is something that you need to watch out for. The next stock we want to talk about is Colgate, and the reason that we've selected is that the counter is trading at record highs. What is the traction on Colgate? Let's see what's happening today. Open interest decent, 11% open interest build up. Stock is up 2%. Amit, will the rally continue in Colgate, or are you seeing any opportunity to take a counter position in Colgate?
No, I would definitely not take a counter position in structural trend moves because trend is always your friend. That's my always a belief. So considering the overall FMCG pack and the consumption space, the way the stock participation has increased post the election, the volume, the open interest and the price traction has been quite massive in last 3 days. So if you see overall FMCG pack is looking very strong. Colgate especially was the early leader when the stock started moving. Since the time it has given a breakout about 1140 odd, I believe the stock has potential to head towards 1420 to 1450 levels on the higher side. On the downside, it holds very good support around 1260 to 1275, which is a short-term momentum support level. But on a broader structure, I believe the stock potentially can see 10 to 12% upside from here on.
Potential upside of 10%. What about you, Ruchit? Agree? Are you seeing also positive momentum on Colgate?
Yes, certainly. Within the FMCG space in last 1 month, it has been an outperformer. Secondly, the stock has added good amount of long positions in last 2 weeks. Now the stock is trading at its all-time high, and usually whenever we have to take target projections at all-time high levels, then we take out reciprocal retracements of the previous corrections to take out target projections. So if I see the reciprocal retracement of the previous correction on the weekly chart, then the first resistance, that is 127% retracement of previous correction, is around 1330. That's where the stock is trading now. Since there are no signs of reversal, so there is a probability that this 1330 would be taken out, and 161.8% of previous correction would be next target projections, which are around 1400, 1410 kind of levels. So one can easily expect 1410 kind of levels coming in Colgate in short term. So any existing long positions should be held on.
Okay, existing position should be held on, so that's a positive view that's coming in. The next two stocks are the stocks which are seeing long unwinding that we've seen as far as this entire series is concerned, not only today, but if you take a look at from where the series started, they are ICICI Bank and Tata Steel. I'll discuss both these stocks with a guest. Ruchit, our analysis shows that there are readings shows that there is a little bit of long unwinding that we've seen on a series basis, both in Tata Steel and ICICI Bank. Are you seeing some similar trends, and what's your view?
Yes, ICICI Bank, if you see last 3-4 months, then it was one of the stock within the private banking space which had shown outperformance compared to other names within the sector. But now it seems that more of a consolidation phase is going on in the stock. The stock has formed a support base around 330, whereas resistance is around 360, 365. So until the stocks comes out of this consolidation phase, we should not expect any kind of trended move in ICICI Bank. The overall trend is positive from a medium to long term perspective, but still for taking any fresh positions, I would wait for a breakout from either 365 on the higher side or 330 on the lower side. So one can expect consolidation in this space. Tata Steel is one of the stock where in last couple of weeks we have seen formation of some short positions when stock corrected from 580 to 500 kind of levels. Now the crucial resistance for the stock is 523. Only 523 is breached, then we could see some short covering move in this stock. So one should be watchful for this one. Above 523, one can expect a short covering move in Tata Steel. So one can place a strategy to buy this stock above 523 for target around 560.
Amit, same two stocks, Tata Steel and ICICI Bank. What's your view?
So I feel ICICI Bank definitely has seen a strong rollovers in the December series, and in fact I feel, and I have mentioned this earlier in the show as well, that you know, in the entire banking space, if I have to select one, I feel in the next 6 to 7 months ICICI Bank would be the one which will outperform the other PSU and the private banking space. So that clearly is in a very good trajectory where can see a good momentum towards 375, 380 levels in short term to medium term perspective, and from there on it can see a series of higher top, higher bottom formation. Tata Steel, I would I'm not seeing any kind of a clear trend in the metal space, so I would avoid this counter. It is in a broader structure, it is still in a sideways trajectory. Even in a short term, it is right now started to make a lower top, lower bottom formation. So if it continues to sustain or breaks below 490 odd, I feel there can be some more weakness in this space. So hence I would recommend to avoid this space as of now.
Okay, before we move on to the last stock, Amit, is there any chart that you're seeing or any stock that you're seeing in the last few minutes that has caught your eye which deserves mention?
So I have a close watch on Torrent Pharma. Now the stock on a broader structure has seen a very good consolidation in a broader range of 1600 to 1400 odd levels. Yesterday also the stock witnessed a good open interest by around 8% odd. So that has been in my close radar, and I feel it's just matter of time. Once the stock starts hovering above 1800 band, the stock can see a quick momentum towards 1950 levels on the higher side.
Okay, Ruchit, any same question, anything that you're spotting?
Apollo Hospital has been showing positive momentum in last half an hour.
Okay.
Specifically, the prices have risen from its support and the trend is positive. So one should watch out for this stock for short term, maybe next 1 or 2 days for target around 1300.
Okay, the last stock, very quickly you'll need to answer it before we wrap it. SRF is seeing open interest build up of 26%. The counters come off the day's high, but that's a significant amount of open interest build up. What are you sensing, Ruchit, on SRF now?
So if we see, then recently the prices have resisted around 2200, and that's where the stock is trading right now. So the follow-up move in the second half would be quite crucial. If we see the stock prices continuing the follow-up move about 2200 to 2220 range, then we could see this momentum to extending up to 2300. So about 2220, one can initiate fresh longs with stop loss below 2190 for target around 2300.
Okay, and what's your view, Amit?
So SRF, I agree, the stock has seen a good short-term breakout, and now sustaining about 2180. There can be a further upside towards 2300, 2320 levels on the higher side. On the downside, it has a key support at 2135, 2140 odd. If it breaks below this, then knowing the nature of this counter, which is slightly volatile and has a higher impact cost in trading, so that would be my stop loss level for this particular stock.
Okay, so that's the view. We've discussed a lot of stocks, and I hope our viewers did manage to benefit from all the conversation. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thank you, Ruchit. Thank you, Amit, for coming in and sharing your perspective on the stocks. But for more news and updates, stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.